Welcome to Bitcoin. All roads lead to BTC.
We are in a very strong position because of tariffs. We're in a very powerful position because of the fact that we have tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be in a very weak position. We would be in a weakened state. But with tariffs, we've made hundreds of billions of dollars, not only from China, but from others. And China wants to talk, and we like talking to China. So we have a very good relationship, and we're going to be meeting in South Korea in a couple of weeks.
It's been a tough week for Bitcoin. In less than 7 days, we saw the asset fall from 120K to 108K, and we had another leg dropping down as low as 104K. Some experts are saying it could drop to $98,000. Time will tell. On the bright side, it seems President Trump is prepared to negotiate with Chinese President Xi Jinping and try to get some common ground in this trade war. How will that impact the Bitcoin price? We may see some stability. We may see prices rise. Time will tell.
About 1 year ago, Bitcoin was at like $70,000.
Yeah, I know.
So it has still had incredible performance. If you go back to 2020, it's up 1,500%, right? So one of the things that I like to do is I like to take assets and denominate them in Bitcoin. So anyone can make money when you compare it to the dollar. The dollar only goes down. And so if you look at stocks, the S&P is up 100% since January of 2020. In Bitcoin terms, it's down 88%. So while stock investors think they're winning, when you compare it to a finite asset that can't be debased, they're actually down significantly. When you look at gold, similar story. Gold is actually up about 150% since January of 2020. But when you denominate it in Bitcoin price, it's down 84%. And so again, it kind of comes back to this idea of what is your hurdle rate? Are you trying to outperform dollars, or are you trying to outperform a finite asset? For me, I think of Bitcoin as the hurdle rate. And as many people know the hurdle rate, if you can't beat it, I think you got to buy it.
I like how Anthony Pompliano put it, using Bitcoin as the benchmark when comparing assets. If you're judging the success of an asset based on a dollar, it's not very accurate because the value of the dollar continues to go down, whereas the value of Bitcoin is continuing to rise. The best example to see this in action is comparing the price of real estate. Let's just say you acquired an asset in 2016, and you may have bought that for $300,000, whereas today the value of that house may be like $500,000, $600,000. In 2016, that house price in Bitcoin was probably like, let's call it 400 Bitcoin. 4 years later, that was probably like 2020, it was probably like 45 Bitcoin. Whereas today, in 2025, that same house is probably valued at like 8 Bitcoin. Here's the thing. It may appear that the value of your real estate is going up, but the truth of the matter is the value of the dollar, as mentioned, is continuing to decline. So it takes more dollars to purchase the same asset. You may think that your house is the value is climbing, but let's be realistic. If anything, it's depreciating. Like the wear and tear, the maintenance, the value of that asset is going down. It's just taking more dollars to acquire it. Long story short, biggest takeaway, assets will continue to lose value priced in Bitcoin. They will always, as time progresses, they will cost less in Bitcoin. Hence, it's better to save in Bitcoin than other financial assets. Not financial advice.
We are now still in the early phase of phase 2. This is not a phase 2 correction. We've barely broken out. In fact, most other assets, thinking about stuff like total market cap, X, Bitcoin and ETH, haven't yet broken. Now think of the banana zone here. All of these previous 3 were all only one period wide, this 1 year. This one will be wider. So which is why the market looks less parabolic at this stage. But the parabola will occur, and Julian showed you with that work earlier, and we will have a phase 2 correction.
Bitcoin is a long-term game. If you're looking to get rich quick, not financial advice, but go buy a Okie Dokie coin or whatever meme coin is trending at the moment, but make sure you get out on a pump before it dumps. Not financial advice. If you're patient, diligent, and have a rudimentary understanding of Bitcoin, stack sats and be humble. A lot of experts feel that Bitcoin is underpriced, and when the market dips, it's almost like a buying opportunity to get it at discount, because folks are calling for 250k Bitcoin by end of year, and other experts see further price rises in the near future. And we're not talking 6 digits, we're talking about in the millions. So stack sats, do your thing.
95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into your end.
Into your 150 target.
Yeah, 150, maybe 200, even 250 this year.
I still feel Bitcoin is severely undervalued, especially if you compare it to gold. Like if Bitcoin was worth as much as gold, it would be $1.3 million of Bitcoin. And I think it's just a matter of time. And I also feel like the utility phase of Bitcoin as a neutral settlement network and asset for all of the payments in the world hasn't been priced in at all. So I think it's just still so incredibly early for the asset.
It's only a matter of time before Apple rolls out their own hot wallets or hardware wallets for you to store your BTC on your own private device. We're still early to Bitcoin. We hit some huge hurdles as we have a Bitcoin and crypto friendly administration that is drafting legislation in favor of BTC. We've already seen executive orders to allow for folks to allocate into digital assets like Bitcoin into their 401k retirement plan, and legislation, a bill following that up to codify that in court. That's a huge hurdle because although some folks in Wall Street are getting on board with Bitcoin, there's still some reluctance to other industries due to legislation and lack of regulation. We're getting that ironed out. We are still somewhat in the wild, wild west of Bitcoin and crypto from a regulation perspective. However, with the sitting administration being actively involved in drafting this legislation and regulation, we're going to see more industries get on board with Bitcoin, and that's not even priced in yet.
I think big tech is going to embrace Bitcoin. They're going to let you hold your Bitcoin on your iPhone, on your Android phone. It will find its way into Microsoft software, Amazon software, Google, Apple software. I think that banks are going to embrace Bitcoin. So your bank's going to give you a loan against your Bitcoin. It'll buy Bitcoin for you. Insurance companies will start to support Bitcoin. I think families will increasingly begin to see it as their savings account. The yoga studio, the restaurant, the hotel chain, they'll be able to raise capital in order to improve their business and to innovate. And I think that sound money, that will spread through South America, Africa, Asia. It'll tread to China. So I think the future is American values, American technology, not just making America great, but also spreading economic prosperity to the entire world.
Don't let the big red slide scare you. Bitcoin dips, it's a volatile asset, but what goes down must go up. And as low as it can go 100 times higher. That's the beauty of volatility. And it's not a time to cry, it's a time to buy. Believe in Bitcoin. See you on the next one.